great matchup calls for great commentators, but unfortunately we couldn't find that, so we had to call findable carpet. But thankfully we have Leaf, so Leaf, save us from Carpet's beard. Over to you.
Thank you, Golden. I'm one of the fallbacks, but we have the beard right next to me. He's one of the top of the nation. We got Comrade and Ka-Pow. What are you expecting out of this?
Thank you, Golden Boy, for such a great introduction. I'm really hoping for a close game. I believe that I watched them play in a Pulsar Premier League game, if I'm correct. It might have been a few weeks ago, so my memory might be a little bit hazy. Both these teams can bring it. Both these teams can show their worth. You know, like we just saw earlier, a rank 15 team knocking out, or taking on Crown and Jewels very readily too.
We didn't expect that from RG.
No, and it was a 2-0 as well. Like it wasn't even like a they didn't even bring it to the third game. I'm expecting something pretty similar. I'm hoping that we actually get to a third game in this case, though. I'm hoping that both teams are really just giving it their all.
Yeah, no, and I remember on Ka-Pow we heard a lot was one to look out for those redirects. Expected to see him high up in the air, getting those nice plays and passes from his teammates.
To be able to pull off those redirects, it takes a lot of skill. You need to not only know exactly how your teammate's going to hit it, but know how to read these hits really well. A lot of these floaters that come towards the middle, getting your car up and not only getting there and actually predicting it, but making sure your car's in the right orientation to put it where you want to go takes a lot of skill, and there's really a very small percentage of the players that can do it consistently.
Now, we don't want to sleep on Comrade again. I have heard of them myself, too. I have somewhere seen them before, but there are a couple players we do know. I think Lunation was one we had to watch out for. Again, we have heard OSP before, and then Juxi, of course, don't want to leave him out. But it definitely seems like Ka-Pow has a very strong lineup. Are there any predictions coming into this match for you?
I'm open 2-1. I couldn't even tell you which way, though. After EU, we talked about a little earlier at the desk, they're so stacked, just all the way down. I mean, they have so much depth with skill. It's so hard to make like solid, accurate predictions on this game. If I really had to go, I'd say Ka-Pow 2-1.
That's a close one. Yeah, the 2-1. I think I'll go for the 2-0 probably from Ka-Pow. That's again, that lineup is very powerful. We're only seeing 3. We have seen a lot of teams actually have a lot of subs coming to this, but these guys only have 3 on each team. So that means they probably play together, probably rehearsed a lot, and playing together is a very key thing.
These are their consistent rosters, and we have seen some subs come in. We just saw. I saw chat freaking out that Doomsy wasn't playing with Supersonic Avengers, but they still performed well. Having a good sub roster is really good. I don't know if those of you know any NA teams. Onslaught is one of those teams that runs deep. They've got 5 extremely solid players. I would really only call one of them a sub. It seems like they have just 4 starters, and they just go with maybe whoever's playing better that day, whoever's actually there, whoever can actually show up. And I've seen some EU teams do some interesting stuff as well.
Yeah, it looks like players are starting to join in, so we're going to get right into the action and show you guys what Comrade has to put up against Ka-Pow on kickoff. We got Sniper Kid and Juxi going to show us what they got to try to push the momentum forward early on in this game for their teammates. The win comes out for Comrade as OSP gets a nice cheat up. This pass already coming out in front of the net. No one going to follow it up. Lunation trying his best, but didn't quite get there in time, giving now Comrade the opportunity, Ka-Pow the opportunity to start an offensive drive of their own. A shot from Turbo Pulsa into the side of the net, touched off by Lunation. In front of the net, Turbo Pulsa almost with that second touch. Now OSP with the pass back to their zone.
Both teams are giving a little bit of feelers right now. I've talked about it before that the first game, at least the first minute of a game, in a best of 3, you don't have a lot of downtime. You really don't have a lot of time to sit on your back feet for long.
Oh no, Lunation, it catches that pass from Juxi off the wall.
Almost an unfortunate placement here on defense. You saw that a lot was kind of in a bad place. Sniper Kid comes off the wall. Looks like he side flips a little too late. Not a good place. Neither of them are coming from the net to clear that out. They were both having to take that from very interesting locations.
Nice early goal for them. Only 40 seconds into this match. We'll see if Comrade, once again, Ka-Pow can pull back and tie this one up very quickly. You don't want to leave any unanswered goals because those goals start to weigh on you a lot. With a pass out to Turbo. Turbo puts it into blue zone. But that's going to stay in front of the net. No one making any attacks onto the net. The shot coming off the backboard. Seen a lot of goals from this. Not going to happen this time. Lunation with the opportunity to push this out. Kind of leaves it be. Almost giving a lot of opportunity to have a shot on net. Sniper Kid out to the mid. OSP touching that first. Turbo Pulsa waiting for that pass. Out front, we do have good defensive rotations coming out of Ka-Pow at the moment. Comrade at the moment. Shot on net. A lot with the chip up into the air. Turbo pushing it to the side.
Ka-Pow needs to be careful about how many players are sending in towards ball. There seems to be a little bit of communication issues. Oh, Sniper Kid. That was actually not what I'd ever expect to come out of him. He's a very talented player. But they need to be careful about how many... If you send 2 players up at a ball, you really lose all your momentum on an offensive play. Because if that isn't either a goal or a perfect pass to player
Shot,
number 3,
though, coming out of Sniper Kid. Look at that, recognizing the opportunity. Very good placement. Takes a shot.
This was a good read. Juicy tried to clear it. Not the best clear. He wasn't able to get the second touch. Turbo Pulsar read it nicely. And instead of putting it right in front of net, which a lot of these players make the mistake, they follow that back wall. He took it off the back wall to force their defenders to try and chase, but it was just closer to his teammate, and he was able to get the shot off.
Cheat coming in from Sniper Kid. He's going to get beaten out by Comrade. Gaming there. The shot on net a lot with a nice touch. Dominus pushing it to the side. Back on net in front of the slot. No attacker for Comrade. Going to keep the drive on that. Now we're going back to midfield. Ball in possession for Comrade. Ka-Pow. Keep mixing these guys up. They're both amazing teams. The skill coming out. We see a shot almost from Turbo. No one able to put that on the net yet. And there it is. As I say it, the commentator's curse. Sniper dropping another one for his team.
Comrade really needed to clear this. They weren't getting good touches. They lost that 50-50. Sniper Kid came in from the left. It wasn't the best, I don't know. I wasn't able to see where the goalie went there. There should have really been somebody in that. That was a good, fast shot, but very blockable by anybody at this skill level. I really wasn't expecting that to go in at all.
We got Lunation on the kickoff. Not winning that one, but the follow-up from Jukes. He's going to chase this off the wall and see if he can get a touch a little bit late on that hit. That allows Sniper Kid to get that clear deep into blue zone. The shot coming out from him gets contested and is in favor of Comrade, or Ka-Pow, still in Comrade zone in front of the slot. Turbo trying to get a nice shot, but that's going to be pushed aside by OSP.
Comrade seems to be having a little bit of tough time on defense. They're not making good connects. They're not touching it to each
Turbo
other.
with a shot, though.
Oh, getting beat like this is really nothing that should happen. He looked like he probably had the boost, but he got up too late. Insane. He got up so early for that. Turbo. He got up before the ball was even like off of his teammate's hood. And in reading that, I believe it hit the ceiling, and those are some of the hardest things to read. If not, it came very, very close. But the defender needs to be up there that quick. But in the defender's defense, Turbo Pulsar got up for that insanely fast.
Yeah, don't worry about a lot. It's Turbo Pulsar. You got to watch out for those redirects. Lunation trying to take a shot himself. Sniper Kid taking that a lot. Gave him the opportunity to push it into blue zone, which is a good decision because now we're sitting at midfield, still in possession of Ka-Pow. Now Comrade taking control, putting it back into Ka-Pow's zone a lot. Good wall touch, following it up with that reverse aerial. Good fall down. It's going to keep it at mid, allowing his teams to try to recuperate. But that ball's in front of the net. Lunation trying to get a second touch. That comes from Jukesy, though, and drops it in for another goal.
So interesting seeing this. A lot of these shots just seem to kind of sit in front of net for a while. OSP with a beautiful touch off the back wall, but both him and Lunation went up for that. That really should have been covered by a Ka-Pow player. They were just a little too slow to the ball. Maybe they hadn't rotated back quick enough, and it just gave him a nice, kind of just open shot on net.
Comrade still down 1, a minute 43 left into this match. That's still a lot of breathing room. You're not going to see them do anything silly at this point. They're going to just play their game. They're doing a very good job. The test coming from OSP and a lot up in the air is Jukesy, but he misses that one. OSP to follow it up. Turbo Pulsar back to mid. A shot from Comrade, a little wide of the net. Lunation trying to set up another one as we had Jukesy back for some boost. Try to contest it from Sniper. Sniper, good placement on that pass, but it's going to get contested by OSP in front of the net. The backflip from Jukesy to set it up. Lunation in the air to push that deep into Oranges. He gets a shot. That was an open net, and he misses it. Let's see if he can get another opportunity. Comrade still putting the pressure on. Lunation up for another pass, doing a very good job of getting in the air first.
Both teams are giving each other a lot of respect, which is cool to see, but they're not playing their game. They're playing off of each other, it seems like. They're trying to read each other's hits on the opposing team when you really just should be playing your game as a team and trying to beat your opponent. When you spend too much time watching your, the team that you're playing against, and you spend too much time like, oh, are they going to hit this? Or, oh, I think they're going to hit this, and you're not playing the ball, you really don't gain control. So, both these teams they're playing well in their fields, but they don't really seem to be gaining control as a group.
That's very true, and respecting the opponent's shot is a key thing, especially if you don't want to be caught off guard and overcommitting on that ball. Dribble coming out of a lot. Let's see if he can finish it off. He's going to get stopped out by OSP Lunation. Follow that one up. OSP with a nice one off the backboard to pinch it. Nice, deep into zone. Very good pinch, Lunation. Almost getting a second touch. Would have been an amazing team play there. They need to get a goal now for Comrade if they want to tie this one up and pull in overtime a lot with a shot. Lunation, good stop. The follow-up from Jukesy. Let's see if he can get some jukes himself. That's going to touch the ground, and that's going to be it for game one.
Very close aggression at the end. They really almost had that comeback there. Yeah, I do kind of want to comment on something that happened, only to kind of educate some people that might not know. You know, a lot was going to have a really good juke. He had a good dribble. He shook around a player. I believe it was OSP, and then Lunation came in to stop his second touch. A lot of times when you're in a 1v1 dribble and someone's coming up on you, you might not beat them, and there's a good chance you won't. Technically, a good player with a dribble should beat you most of the time. So in a team game like this, when it's 3v3, you want to contest to force them to move, to force them to do something with the ball, and then your player's going to come and take that away from them.
Yeah, if you're forcing players to make moves when they have ball possession, they might get a little antsy, make a silly move, and even give up ball possession and result in a goal. So it's a very, very good point you said there. Shots were in favor of Team Blue there, of Comrade, but they didn't win it, they didn't take it. So anything they need to do to come into the second match and push forward. It was a very close game.
It was. Both teams were kind of playing similarly. They were both sitting back a little bit, playing a little bit safe, which you don't exactly expect all the time from teams of this high caliber. So I kind of want both these teams, I want them to really kind of get that glue together, really work together as a team, get those offensive passes in, and trust their defense and trust to get back as well.
All right, we're going to get it into game two. These guys are all ready to go. Turbo Pulsa hoisting up a lot with that camera shake, getting that dance on. These guys are ready. These guys are energized, and so are we. Jukesy going to win that one. Sniper Kid with the cheat is going to pull that in favor of his team. A lot's going to follow it up. Sniper Kid up for a shot. A little bit too hard off the backboard. Almost gets, oh my goodness. That shot was unreal. Too bad it didn't go in.
They gave him a little bit too much time for that, but really good advantage. You know, it wasn't the strongest shot in the world, but he did what he could with it. And honestly, if that was just slightly more on target, he would have had a clear shot. Oh, a lot almost coming in for a nice redirect.
These guys are starting to get fancy. They're feeling confident. I'm hoping, as you said, they'll still respect those shots, but start to get some crazy stuff and playing the way they want to play as the nerves start to wear off. Sniper Kid with a shot to the net. All three defenders for Comrade are up. This could be a goal, and it results in one as all three defenders are up.
You brought it up exactly. I mean, this mistake is pretty obvious. So literally every single Comrade player went up. You need to communicate. You need to make sure. I think it was OSP almost got there in time, but Turbo really didn't have that hard of a time. All he had to do was kind of bait the last defender who had just landed. You know, recorrecting yourself when you just came out of a landing is not that easy.
It's difficult, that's for sure. Turbo Pulsa with good recognition on what he needed to do, resulting in the first goal. A lot with another shot. Oh my goodness, that looked like it was in the net. Sniper Kid trying to put it back where it belongs for his team, but Jukesy wants it out of there. He's scared. They're trying to get an offensive drive of their own a lot with a touch. The follow-up, can Turbo Pulsa get it? Jukesy there to push it back into Orange's zone. Sniper Kid, good contest, reading over that hit, and the shot on net. That's going to make it past the last defender.
Ka-Pow is just on point right now. They got great solo plays and great team plays. Sniper Kid bouncing off the wall. Lunation slowed it down a bit, but not what he wanted. A lot was waiting for the original touch. It wasn't altered enough to really put him off target, and honestly, that was a nice shot from where he was. He was pretty far close to the midway line, and that's not exactly an easy shot to make at pace.
Well, that's one of those redirects we talked about. Turbo Pulsa trying to set up another one. They're already up 2-0, just over a minute into the game. Lunation stopping that play on the wall. OSP trying to play it up himself, getting a wall play going on. Sniper Kid going to contest Lunation to follow it up as a lot chases him down. We have only one defender in net. Shot could have come out, but it doesn't. A lot with a lot of momentum, trying to carry this one in. OSP contesting that. We'll see if they can get a play out of their zone. Not connecting with that off the ball. Jukesy into the corner. Gets some jukes again. He cannot do that. Lunation trying to follow it up, but he gets a touch. He kind of psychs out his own teammate. No defenders back, but no attackers to take advantage of this. A lot tried to get that redirect, as we know him for. Wasn't able to connect.
Comrade needs to keep an eye on their opponent's rotations. They're not taking advantage when they should have. There are definitely a few times when Ka-Pow comes up a little too hard and they send everybody up. And if someone in Comrade could just contest it, you don't have to win every ball you go for. You don't have to always make sure that it goes in exactly the direction you want, but just interrupting their attack.
Get a body in the way.
Yeah, getting a body in the way, exactly. Just doing that and making sure that you interrupt their attack, it just gets their mojo off a bit.
Very true. Lunation and his teammate OSP behind. This could be a scoring opportunity. A lot's going to beat them to the air, followed up by Sniper Kid off the wall. Let's see if some fancy stuff can happen. A lot doesn't quite get there in time. OSP is going to challenge it. Lunation and OSP making very, very good offensive passes. This ball's in front of the net. Can someone stop it? Oh my goodness. Sniper Kid barely getting his feet on that one.
I've seen so many close saves in this game or this entire match, you really shouldn't be letting get that close to defense, but they're showing their skill and their predictions, knowing exactly when that shot's going to come in, knowing exactly where it's going to go.
Backboard shot could be out for his teammate, but that's going to get pinched a little too far. Lunation keeps it to the side, almost in the top corner. Orange is hurting for getting this ball out of their zone right now.
Comrade needs to make sure they follow up their shots. They're doing a good job right now. They're keeping this play going longer. Generally, with these top teams, you kind of want to break them down mentally by just continually keeping it in their half, and you kind of just wait for that mistake to happen. Some teams can force the mistake. Some teams have to wait for it. But right now, Ka-Pow seems really on their game, and they need to try and take advantage and put them in a bad situation.
Yeah, but Comrade's not giving up. They're putting some pressure on now. Back into Ka-Pow's zone. Sniper Kid trying desperately to keep it out. Last defender, Lunation, going to put it right back where he thinks it belongs, into Orange's zone. Open net here if they can get a touch on it. Juxi almost coming up, recognizing the opportunity. Good recognition from him. OSP keeping that to the side, making sure that Ka-Pow can't get any shots off. Turbo Pulsar with the touch, sending it back to mid. Turbo Pulsar once again with the follow-up, and that's going to be another goal for Ka-Pow on the scoreboard.
This is a pretty big rotational mistake. You saw Comrade, or OSP and Juxi in the same side. Juxi trusted OSP to get that, but even if OSP did get that, Juxi wasn't in a good place either way. He should have at least gone to net so that if a shot happened, he was useful. The hardest part as a player is to make sure that you put yourself in a useful position, whether you guys win or lose that ball.
Well, coming into the final minute of gameplay, you don't want to be making those mistakes when you're down 2 goals, and now 3. We're going to see a lot of pressure. We already have seen come out of Comrade, but it's going to be more, and you might see some more of those mistakes happen. We'll see if anyone can follow this up a lot, trying desperately to get back as Juxi gets control of that ball, trying to put it on net to the side. OSP up on the wall to challenge Lunation, trying to get back for some boost. Goes out center, no opportunity for him. A lot with a good touch, going towards the net, but a good defensive rotation is going to stop that from going in. The touch from Turbo Pulsar. Beautiful air control.
Turbo Pulsar had a lot of time for this, and he noticed it. Juxi did not have the touch he really should have defensively. He should have let someone take that from net if he had the time. Lunation tried his best to come off the wall and beat him, but he was stuck in a bad position. Lunation, there's really not much he could have done there. He got there as fast as he could. But Turbo Pulsar, good on him for taking his time with that shot. That is not those gentle underside touches. You heard him kind of fluttering his boost to make sure he had the perfect height on that.
You're right, 30 seconds left in this match. Up 4-0, it's going to be very, very difficult for Comrade to come back to this one. 20 seconds, Juxi up in there trying to get at least one on the scoreboard. OSP with another direct out to front. There's no one back for this. As we said, you're going to see a lot of, speaking of a lot, you're going to see a lot of pressure in this last minute of gameplay, and that resulted in that goal.
Oh yeah, we talked about it before. When you're down by this many with not much time left, you just got to go all in. So these last few goals, I don't really ever count in my head as far as how the team truly played. Because
no, you're right.
when you're stuck in a corner like this, you go all in. And if you get scored on again, like, I mean, it only takes 1 goal to lose. So losing by 6 or losing by 1.
And Sniper he just wants all the points right now.
He's trying to set up our beloved score. I don't know if they're going to have the time to do it just yet.
Yeah, we have no real big points coming out of Comrade. It looks like 6-0. This is looking to be how we predicted earlier on, with a very dominating win from Ka-Pow. As we come down to the last final 3 seconds of the match. Both teams still trying to get some score on that board, but this ball is probably going to drop very soon as everyone goes for that one. I don't know, it looks like Ka-Pow wants another one. They want that 7-0, and that ball's still not dropping. Comrade with a shot, can they get one in there? They can't do it.
So close. Comrade has the talent for it. They can do it. They just need to be a little more consistent and confident in themselves. It seems like they let Ka-Pow do a little bit more. They kind of let Ka-Pow do what they wanted to do best. We saw a lot of really good touches. We saw them read each other's touches. A couple of really good, a Ka-Pow player would sit up on the wall, and then someone would hit it up at him, and he'd be able to redirect it. Yeah,
there's been a lot of great plays coming out of Ka-Pow. Again, it went kind of the way that we expected it. Look at the shots. It was 14-6 in the last one. Nothing sinking for Comrade. Absolutely great games.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to pass off to the analyst desk to see what they have to say about this match, and if it's exactly what they predicted as well. Golden Boy.
Thank you guys so much. Well, for one, just want to give a huge shout out to the people in the Twitch chat, pretty much spamming Ka-Pow the entire time, which was pretty awesome. So objective, mission accomplished, of course, because of course Ka-Pow didn't intend for that to happen, right? Who would? So, but Ka-Pow, man, really impressive stuff. kind of reflecting on game one, one thing I really do want to commend is a Sniper Kid with just really just exposing the defense at the right times. It's just the Ka-Pow team in general, right? Just really capitalized whenever there was an opening. And to be honest with you, if we move on to game two, Comrade gave him a lot. But game one, though, they started to get that going.
So that's the thing with Ka-Pow is they got really hot in these past 2 weeks, and I wasn't sure why. Because like I always follow Turbo and a lot, and they're both really good. And I thought Sniper Kid was kind of their third, but he really showed up in this series.
No, we saw them just continually, like Golden Boy was saying, capitalizing on the opportunities that Comrade gave them. We saw Comrade overcommitting on defense so often. They would send 3 players up, they would be out of rotation, someone who was at the midfield would go up when there was a goalie, and they should just let the goalie go for it, just some miscommunication. They had really good mechanics on defense. We saw some really great saves come out from them, but if you can't rotate, you're not going to be able to save it all.
And the pressure from Ka-Pow is what results from that, and then you have no boost, and you panic on defense. Like that's when you send 3 at a ball because you're not sure in the trust of your teammates, which I see a lot from Comrade because they don't play too much compared to the pro teams. So Lunation even told me, he's like, we don't play enough, so our mechanics aren't great, but we're all really smart players. But when you're on defense and there's no trust there, you have to jump for those balls.
Yeah, and they couldn't follow it up on offense either. They had some really great sieges in that first game. You know, so like Comrade had some really good pressure, but they just never were able to capitalize. They were never able to get the shots on target, and so they had 8 shots, I think, with only 2 goals. And so just that sort of inaccuracy is not going to give you the win.
Now, before we move on to game number 2, though, I do want to ask you, one thing that our commentators actually pointed out was slow rotations across the board, though. Ka-Pow struggled with it. Comrade struggled with it. Now that we shift gears to game 2, do you feel like Ka-Pow tightened that up a lot more? I mean, of course, the scoreboard says one thing, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's all about what happens in game. Do you feel like Ka-Pow actually tightened up those rotations and executed a bit better, Gibbs?
So we saw, like in the last set, where we had Supersonic Avengers, like game 1 was close, and then game 2, they blew them out. And this seems to be a trend happening with these pro teams. It could be nerves, like it could be just feeler games, but I'm not sure what it is, but
Yeah, I don't know, the morale, I mean, we saw, just like we were saying, the defensive mistakes on the side of Comrade that we saw in game 1 were just exacerbated in game number 2. There was just so many more of them. And then when they had opportunities like this, they still just couldn't capitalize. You know, Sniper Kid coming up with the clutch save there, but like we were saying, the slow rotation, if they had been any tighter on that offensive rotation, they would have been able to get there, and Sniper Kid wouldn't have been able to make the save.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Sick stuff.
So many things happened there in that like brief 1 second, and Sniper Kid just came through with those rotations.
And then these wall passes have been insane the entire series.
Yeah, but right there, that the mid player coming out and not letting Lunation, who's in goal, come up to get the save is what let Turbo Pulsar make that shot there. And so that's given exactly what gave Ka-Pow the win.
Yeah, they were just exposed a little bit too much. And I'm hoping that Comrade is going to reflect on this, look at what they did wrong, and then hopefully apply those changes to the losers bracket. But Ka-Pow, though, very impressive stuff.
Absolutely.
And making a name for themselves.
They're looking good.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So when we come back, we're going to have plenty more Rocket League Championship Series coverage coming at you live here from our studio. Of course, you're not going to want to miss it. We'll see you later.